All right, so I got the second ion unit, the second the second Megatouch ion unit that I got from this guy in Athens as a two-part set. He was gonna scrap them because to him they were just massive paperweights, I guess you would say. And I've already revived the first one, which is pretty cool. And now I have the second one. The second one, I don't know how hard it's going to be because I'm going to show you. Actually, I should have filmed this or took a picture of it before starting. But basically, I got to sit here with my compressor and I got to start blowing. I'm going to do a rough blow and then a precision blow and take all this apart. Not all of it, but like I'm going to redo the heatsink on the processor and redo all the connections and use connection cleaner, electronics connector cleaner on all this because they left this machine open like this while they were doing sheetrock work in a room. So all the sheetrock dust just covered everything. And see, right now, it doesn't look as bad because I already hit it with this like once or twice. Well, 1 or 2 seconds, right? The top part. But you can see that? Horrible. It's just sheetrock dust. I mean, look at that. Just caked on everything. It is disgusting. And this is original components. This is not the Intel Little Falls board. This is the alternate ion board. When they made the ions, they used this board, and this is the Enforce board. There's an Asus board, which is in my. This unit here has the Asus board, and then you've got like this customer's ion platform game here that's running the Little Falls board. All right, the Little Falls board, this one right here, this is the preferred board. God damn it. Just knock this shit over. I need a better system here. So, the Little Falls board was also used in the RXs. So, when you see the RXs, which the RX is one of my favorite ones to work on because everything is completely accessible. I'll show you some RXs. So, it's taken apart, right? And I can like post some pictures of what it's supposed to look like. But look, I got 2 of them here. Now the RXs, basically, it's a sloped screen. So the screen is sloped like this. And the hinges down here. And there's a lock right here. You unlatch it and the whole screen's, the whole screen and everything behind it, all the boards, comes up like this, and you have complete access there's a protective panel here, but look, you have total access to everything. And these use the Little Falls board, the Intel board. This board is the preferred board. This is the best, most preferred board in any Ion platform Megatouch. So if you've got a Megatouch running Ion, like an Aurora, like an Edge, an Elite Edge, or even a Game Time like I have, right? This Intel board is the preferred board. So if you ever want to kind of like, make if you want to set up your game to where it'll last longer, go with this board. Find this board. Unfortunately, I think you could only find it used. There is one more type of board that I think you can use from the Megatouch community online found. I haven't looked into that 100%. But anyways, the Little Falls board right here, this is the preferred one. Because look, it's way more compact. It's smaller, less surface area, better processor. It's cleaner. The caps are better. So you've got less capacitors and better capacitors. I have yet to encounter a Little Falls board that has died. Let me see here. I have not seen a Little Falls board that has died in person. Because you really don't have too many. you don't have a ton of caps compared to the other boards. And I just know these boards, they just last longer. They're just better boards. If you really wanted to get wild, you could get a little Falls board and just replace every single capacitor. And like, as long as you have proper cooling in your unit, if you got a little Falls board and you freshen up the heatsink paste on the processor and clean everything really well and replace all the capacitors, that thing could last for a decade. I bet you could get, with proper cooling, you could probably get at least 20 years out of one of those boards. I really think you could. The only problems you're going to have is like maybe hard drive dying at some point. Easy swap. RAM might fuck up or something. Easy swap, right? Power supply, that's, you can get one of these. There's a company that sells brand new recreation power supplies. They kind of recreate like the power supplies that are used in these games because they're used in like other commercial applications. You can get a brand new one for $70, which is what I'm doing for all my units. I'm getting brand new power supplies, right? So I am basically taking my units, I'm doing capacitor inspections. So if all the capacitors look rock solid, no problems, I basically say, hey, no, this is a good board. I am putting brand new solid state drives in every machine. I'm putting brand new power supplies in every machine that I sell. And brand new power supplies, checking caps, brand new hard drives. I'm redoing all connections, heat sink paste on all the processors. And what else? It's kind of hard to find RAM that goes bad. RAM does go bad sometimes, usually it'll go bad because someone's been touching it, or you had some static discharge because you were fucking with it. But anyways, basically, I'm going through my machines that I sell, and I'm replacing like all crucial components that or components that have the fastest failure rate. The components that would fail first out of all the components, right? And I'm basically charging more money per machine, but the people are willing to pay the extra upcharge for a machine that's going to last them for years and years and years. I've even thought about doing capacitor replacements. I even thought about I might test it on one machine to see how much money people are willing to pay. But I literally thought, okay, I'm going to do brand new power supply, brand new solid state drive, new heat sink, replace all capacitors on the motherboard, and then maybe even like a new screen, or either a new screen or a screen backlight upgrade. So you can upgrade the screens to like a LED backlight. You'd have brand new backlights, LED backlights, and a brand new power inverter. And like, if I were to do all that and replace all of those components, here's the other thing I'm doing. I'm putting brand new high-speed cooling fans in all my machines too. I'm even thinking of adding extra fans on some of these. Because if you do all of that, you replace all those components, and then you get the motherboards to where they can last 10, 20 years if they're treated right. As long as you're not leaving the machine on 24/7, just only turn it on when you're using it. Like, you could have a machine that'll last over 10 years. I mean, I would literally say that you could get, at least 5 years. At least 5 years with proper cooling, proper replacement parts. Especially if it's in a home use. If it's home use and you're only turning it on like a couple hours a day tops, and then a lot of these machines probably sit off for a long time, and then they turn them on when they have parties and stuff, right? These machines, if you tidy them up like I'm saying, you could make these things last a long time. Because back in the day, these machines were put into bars and they were left on 24/7. A lot of these machines were running 24/7. And if not 24/7, they were only turned off from like 2 in the morning to noon before the bar opens up again and they turn the machine back on. If they decided to turn it off and on, right? A lot of them, they just leave on. So that's why there's a problem with all these used machines. People are kind of scared of buying ones that haven't been worked on or refurbished because there's kind of a reputation of these machines like breaking all the time. And that's because people that are reselling these machines, you can only get used ones because they went out of business in 2014. So the people that are reselling these machines, they're just getting machines either that work that still are using a lot of original parts, or they're getting broken machines and they're only replacing what they need to. Like they're only replacing whatever was broken on them, right? So if a hard drive is bad, they'll replace the hard drive, get it working, sell it. But guess what? That machine could still have an original power supply. It could have some bulging capacitors or capacitors that are like close to failing. What else? It could have like cooling fans that are dying and it's not cooling the machine properly, and now you're just a ticking time bomb. Stuff like that. So the machines that seem to be lasting the longest are any of the ones that use the Little Falls board, like I said. Like an Aurora. If you have an Aurora, like the Auroras that I have, if you have an Aurora that's clean, very clean on the interior, your cooling fans are doing their job. You have good cooling fans. You have a solid state drive, and you have the Little Falls board with no bulging caps and a relatively new power supply. Those machines actually, I think, will last a long time. That's probably your best bet, I think, is one of the Auroras with new components. The RXs, maybe, I would say an RX too. Problem with the RXs is cooling. They didn't have a lot of spots for cooling fans. The cooling fans they're not very efficient, and those things kind of like are really sealed up. I would say you'd have to get an RX and modify it to add additional cooling fans. So anyways, I'm going to finish blowing this out. Oh yeah, this one works. This one works now, and I got the tanks here. So yeah, see, look at this shit. Look at that shit. That's fucked up. Oh my god. So fucking bad, man.